The alien empire had expanded across the galaxy with brutal efficiency, conquering entire planets and civilizations without breaking a sweat. Their technology was far beyond anything other species had developed. Advanced energy weapons, armor that could deflect most projectiles, and fleets of drones capable of raining destruction from above made them nearly unstoppable. In every war they fought, victory was certain. Civilizations that had survived for millennia crumbled in mere days under the Empire's relentless assault. When the alien generals set their sights on Earth, they hardly saw it as a challenge. Earth was known for its chaotic politics and underdeveloped technology. Its inhabitants were primitive by galactic standards, relying on outdated tactics and weapons. The generals, in their war rooms filled with holographic displays of past victories, couldn't help but scoff at the idea that humans posed any real threat. Their military, with its centuries of experience and perfect track record, had seen and defeated every type of enemy. Humans, with their reliance on projectile weapons like rifles and, laughably, snipers, would be no different. Snipers were the biggest joke of all. Long-range shooters who spent hours, even days, lying in wait just to take a single shot. It was primitive and inefficient in the eyes of the Empire. They had advanced targeting systems and drones that could pick off enemies with pinpoint accuracy from miles away. The idea of a human sniper hiding in a bush somewhere was almost comical to them. A waste of time, a relic of a past age of warfare. As the generals planned the invasion of Earth, they made sure to joke about it. One of the generals, a towering figure with cold blue eyes, couldn't suppress his laughter. A sniper? I haven't seen one of those since we fought the Stone Age tribes on Crassus Prime. The room erupted in chuckles. Another general chimed in. What are they going to do, throw rocks at our drones? Maybe hide in the trees and hope we don't see them? More laughter followed. The truth was, they didn't fear Earth's defenses because they didn't see anything to fear. Earth's armies were fractured, and their technologies were decades behind even the weakest empire in the galaxy. The humans were still using bullets and missiles, while the Empire had mastered energy weapons and shields that could render most of those ineffective. It wasn't just overconfidence, it was absolute certainty that this battle would be over in a matter of hours. Maybe days if the humans tried to be clever. As they moved their ships into Earth's orbit, the generals activated their tactical displays, showing the planet's key military installations. They had already begun deploying drones to target Earth's defenses from above, while their ground forces prepared for a full-scale assault. The first wave of soldiers, clad in impenetrable armor and equipped with plasma rifles, was ready. Thousands of them, supported by advanced aerial drones and armored walkers, would march through human cities with ease. "We'll land here," the lead general said, pointing to a key military base on Earth. "Take out their central command, and the rest will fall in hours." The plan was simple, effective, and had worked countless times before. The humans wouldn't even have time to react before the Empire's forces were at their doorsteps. The generals watched with smug satisfaction as their ships began their descent. On Earth, the situation was dire. The initial wave of the alien assault had been devastating. Cities were burning, and communication lines were failing under the relentless attack. Earth's military was scrambling to defend itself, but every plan they had seemed to fall apart under the aliens' advanced technology. Their drones were everywhere, picking off soldiers from above, while the ground forces moved forward like an unstoppable tide. Earth's forces were overwhelmed. Tanks were destroyed before they could even fire a shot, and soldiers found themselves pinned down by energy blasts from unseen enemies. The situation was growing increasingly hopeless. But Earth had one advantage the aliens hadn't accounted for: snipers. As the chaos unfolded, Earth's military command quietly activated its sniper corps. These soldiers were among the best humanity had to offer, trained for months or years in the art of patience, precision, and adaptability. They didn't rely on advanced technology but on their ability to disappear into the landscape, to wait for the perfect shot, and to strike before the enemy even knew they were there. But even as the snipers prepared to deploy, the alien generals remained dismissive. They saw the human snipers as little more than a minor inconvenience, a nuisance that their superior technology would handle without issue. Send a few drones to sweep the area, one general ordered. Let them play soldier for a while. It won't matter. We'll be in their capital before nightfall. Their overconfidence was palpable. The generals, sitting in their command ships high above Earth, watched the battle unfold through tactical displays, fully convinced that their ground forces would encounter little resistance. They saw the sniper units being prepped, but even then, they couldn't take it seriously. Primitive tactics for a primitive species, one of them sneered. As their forces prepared for the first major ground invasion, the aliens were certain of one thing: this would be an easy victory. They had done this countless times before. Earth was just another name on the long list of civilizations they would crush beneath their feet. And snipers? The idea that a few humans with rifles could change anything in this battle was laughable. But as the aliens moved into position for their ground assault, something began to change. The humans weren't surrendering. They weren't even panicking, at least not in the way the generals had expected. Instead, they were digging in, preparing for something. It was subtle, almost imperceptible at first, but the alien commanders began to notice that the humans were positioning their forces in a way that suggested they had some kind of plan. Of course, the generals didn't care. They had seen this before. Desperate defenses, last-ditch efforts to hold the line, none of it mattered. The Empire always won, and Earth would be no different. They would land their troops, wipe out the human defenders, and be home in time for the next campaign. But this time, they had no idea what was about to hit them. Earth's sniper corps was unlike anything the alien invaders had ever faced. These soldiers weren't just marksmen, they were shadows, disappearing into the landscape and becoming one with the terrain. Their training was grueling, demanding patience and precision that few could master. For years, they had honed their craft, perfecting the art of waiting for the right moment, the right shot. Each sniper was armed with a specialized rifle, equipped with advanced optics and ammunition capable of piercing even the toughest armor, but their true weapon was their discipline. No matter the odds, they remained calm, focused, and lethal. Among them was one sniper who stood above the rest. Known for legendary accuracy and almost inhuman patience, this sniper had earned a reputation within Earth's military. Hours, even days, could pass without them moving from a concealed position, waiting for that one perfect shot. For this sniper, it wasn't just about killing the enemy, it was about precision, timing, and the cold, calculated efficiency that made every shot count. They knew what they were up against. The aliens had advanced technology, overwhelming numbers, and armor that could shrug off most human weapons. But the snipers weren't deterred. They knew their battlefield better than the aliens ever could, and they were prepared to exploit every advantage they had. The alien forces landed on Earth with confidence that bordered on arrogance. Their ships touched down, and the ground troops marched forward with disciplined precision, their armor gleaming in the sunlight. Their technology was far superior to anything Earth had to offer, and the soldiers knew it. They moved through the landscape without hesitation, their confidence buoyed by the knowledge that nothing Earth could throw at them could pierce their shields or damage their armor. Their scanners swept the area for threats, but the snipers were invisible, blending perfectly into their surroundings. At the head of the alien assault was a general whose arrogance was palpable. Clad in a reinforced version of the standard armor, he led his troops with a swagger, fully convinced that Earth's defenses would crumble before him. He barely bothered with cover, moving openly and without fear. After all, why should he be afraid? The humans were using outdated weapons, relying on soldiers hiding in the bushes with rifles. It was almost laughable to him. This was just another routine operation, and soon, Earth would be another notch in the Empire's long history of conquest. From a hidden vantage point, the sniper observed the alien general through their scope. The shot was difficult, but not impossible. The general's armor was nearly impenetrable, but Earth's snipers were trained to find the weak points, small, exposed areas where even the toughest armor couldn't protect. The sniper watched the general's movements, adjusting for the distance, the wind, and the angle of the shot. It was a delicate calculation, but the sniper had made more difficult shots before. The moment came. A single exhale, the steady pressure on the trigger, and the silence that followed. The sound of the shot was barely a whisper compared to the chaos of the battlefield, but its impact was immediate. The general, still marching confidently at the front of his troops, stumbled. For a moment, it wasn't clear what had happened. Then, he collapsed to the ground, a single round having pierced the narrow gap in his armor at the base of his neck. There was no time for him to react, no last words. He was simply dead. For a second, the alien forces didn't understand what had happened. Their leader, the general who had led them into countless victories, was gone in an instant. They scanned the area frantically, but there was no sign of the sniper. The shot had come from nowhere, and their advanced sensors picked up nothing. Panic began to spread through the ranks. These soldiers, who had been so confident moments ago, were now scrambling for cover. They had never seen anything like this. One moment, their leader was there, and the next, he was dead, taken out by a weapon they had dismissed as primitive. The silence that followed the general's death was deafening. Alien soldiers, who had marched forward with such arrogance, were now unsure of themselves. They took cover, scanning the landscape for any sign of the sniper. But the sniper was already gone, having moved to a new position, ready to strike again. The aliens, for the first time, began to feel something they hadn't experienced in a long time: fear. They had thought themselves untouchable, but now they realized they were vulnerable. The alien commanders, high above in their ships, watched the confusion unfold below. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. How had a human sniper, with nothing but a rifle, managed to take down one of their most heavily armored generals? They ordered reinforcements to the area, determined to root out and eliminate the sniper. Drones were deployed, scanning the battlefield from above, and more troops were sent in, all searching for a target they couldn't see. The soldiers on the ground were growing desperate. Every shadow, every movement in the distance, could be the sniper. They fired blindly at suspected positions, but it was no use. The sniper had already moved, carefully calculating the next target, waiting for the perfect moment to strike again. The alien forces were used to overwhelming their enemies with superior numbers and firepower, but now they were on the defensive, and they didn't know how to respond. As more reinforcements arrived, the aliens regrouped, determined to find the sniper and end the threat. But they were already at a disadvantage. Their initial arrogance had cost them dearly, and now they were being hunted. Every movement was cautious, every order barked with urgency. The once confident march had turned into a desperate scramble to find cover and avoid being the next target. For the first time in this invasion, the aliens weren't dictating the terms of battle. They were reacting, and that reaction was driven by fear of a sniper they couldn't see and couldn't stop. They thought they had the advantage, but Earth snipers were proving them wrong with every shot. And the worst part? This was only the beginning. The sniper moved through the battlefield like a ghost, always one step ahead of the alien technology that was hunting for them. The alien drones, equipped with thermal imaging and advanced tracking systems, scanned the area constantly, but they were designed for environments much different than Earth's. The thick forests, uneven terrain, and shifting weather patterns rendered many of their tools ineffective. The sniper, using decades-old techniques, outmaneuvered them with ease. Camouflage was key, blending into the environment, becoming part of the landscape. Thermal scanners could be fooled with simple tricks, like using the cold mud to reduce body heat, while advanced drones were thrown off by decoy movements. Every step was calculated, every move deliberate. The sniper knew the landscape far better than the alien invaders, and that was an advantage no amount of technology could overcome. The aliens had never fought in an environment like this before. Their technology was impressive, yes, but it was built for battles in open spaces or sterile, controlled environments, not Earth's dense, chaotic terrain. Their armor, which protected them so well against energy weapons, made them slow and cumbersome as they tried to maneuver through thick underbrush. The sniper used the terrain to their advantage, setting traps and using natural cover to remain invisible. The alien forces, accustomed to overwhelming their enemies with superior firepower, found themselves at a loss. Every time they thought they had located the sniper, the shot would come from a different direction, picking off yet another high-ranking officer or critical unit. In response to their mounting losses, the aliens deployed more advanced technology. They sent in drones designed for more precise tracking, armored units impervious to most human weaponry, and high-tech scanning devices capable of sweeping entire regions for life forms. It should have been enough. But still, the sniper remained elusive. The aliens' reliance on their technology had made them predictable, and the sniper exploited every weakness in their tactics. The armored units, slow and heavy, became easy targets once their weak points were identified. The drones, while advanced, couldn't account for the complex, shifting terrain. The sniper continued to dismantle the alien forces piece by piece, using nothing more than old-school tactics and an intimate knowledge of the battlefield. Frustration began to seep into the alien ranks. Each failed counterattack, each attempt to track down the elusive sniper, only resulted in more casualties. The aliens weren't used to this kind of warfare, small, precise strikes that crippled their command structure without engaging their full force. Every shot taken by the sniper was deliberate, and each one hit its mark. High-ranking officers, supply convoys, and critical units were all targeted with deadly accuracy. The sniper was systematically unraveling their entire operation, and there was nothing the aliens could do about it. The psychological toll was becoming clear. Alien soldiers, once so confident in their superiority, now hesitated to advance. They had no idea where the next shot would come from, or who would be next. The sniper had created an atmosphere of fear and paranoia. Alien commanders, who had once scoffed at Earth's defenders, were now second-guessing every decision. They didn't know where the snipers were, how many there were, or when they would strike next. Some even began to question whether their technology was as invincible as they'd been led to believe. The sniper had become more than just a physical threat. They were a psychological one, breaking the alien forces from the inside out. As more alien generals fell to sniper fire, the chain of command began to collapse. Orders were given more erratically, and the alien troops began to lose cohesion. Some officers refused to leave their command posts for fear of becoming the next target. Soldiers became jittery, firing at shadows and jumping at the slightest noise. The sniper had achieved something that Earth's conventional military couldn't, sowing doubt and fear within the alien ranks. The morale of the alien troops, once so strong, was now in tatters. But it wasn't just the sniper. Earth's entire sniper corps was working together, though silently and without direct communication. Each sniper operated independently, but they understood the larger strategy. By spreading out across the battlefield, they created the illusion that the aliens were surrounded. Every time an alien unit thought they had pinpointed a sniper's position, a shot would ring out from a different location entirely. This coordination, though unspoken, was devastating to the alien forces. It was as if they were being hunted from every direction at once. The aliens, who had once seen Earth as a weak and primitive planet, were now forced to retreat. Their advanced technology, their overwhelming numbers, their superior firepower, none of it seemed to matter anymore. They had been outsmarted, outmaneuvered, and outgunned by human soldiers who were supposed to be beneath them. And it wasn't just physical defeat, it was the psychological blow that hurt the most. They couldn't comprehend how their advanced, nearly invincible force was being torn apart by a handful of snipers using what they considered outdated methods. The retreat wasn't total, but it was significant. The aliens fell back, regrouping to reassess their strategy. They still couldn't understand how they had been outclassed so thoroughly. In their arrogance, they had underestimated humanity's resilience and resourcefulness. Now, they had been forced to confront the harsh reality that technology alone wasn't enough to guarantee victory. The battlefield had become a place where the sniper reigned supreme, and the aliens knew that as long as those snipers were out there, they were not safe. The snipers, silent as always, watched from their hidden positions as the alien forces pulled back. They didn't celebrate or revel in the victory. For them, it was just another battle, another day of doing their duty. But the message had been sent loud and clear: Earth was not as helpless as the aliens had thought. And as long as the snipers were still out there, the aliens would never truly be in control. The alien leadership had reached the breaking point. Their once supreme forces were now being dismantled by what they saw as an inferior species, and their humiliation was unbearable. They couldn't allow this insult to stand. In a final, desperate bid to reclaim control, they assembled their most elite units, specialized soldiers trained specifically to counter snipers. These operatives were equipped with the best technology the alien empire had to offer: advanced cloaking devices, anti-ballistic shields, and hyper-precise scanning tools that could detect even the faintest movement from miles away. The alien generals believed this was their last chance to crush Earth's defenders, and they weren't holding anything back. These elite forces were dispatched with one mission: to hunt down and eliminate Earth's snipers once and for all. It was a decisive moment for the alien command, and they believed that this overwhelming display of force would finally put an end to the frustration and embarrassment they had endured. The mood among the alien leadership had shifted from arrogance to desperation, but they clung to the belief that their superior soldiers and technology would ultimately carry them to victory. This was their final card to play, and they were confident it would be enough. Meanwhile, the protagonist sniper was already aware of the stakes. They knew the aliens were getting desperate, and that their next move would be their most dangerous yet. But desperation had a way of making even the most advanced enemy predictable. The sniper had seen it before in other battles: how desperation led to reckless decisions, how it clouded judgment and forced errors. Now, the sniper was preparing for what would undoubtedly be the most intense battle of the invasion. Every detail had to be perfect. The terrain had to be right, the angles calculated, the traps set. The sniper worked quietly, moving with the kind of deliberate precision that had allowed them to survive so far. This time, it wouldn't just be about taking the perfect shot. The sniper understood that the aliens would be hunting them now, not just reacting to their attacks. So, the sniper laid a series of false trails, decoys and traps designed to mislead the alien forces and lead them into a kill zone. It wasn't just about accuracy now, it was about manipulation. The sniper's skill wasn't limited to marksmanship, it was in knowing how to outthink the enemy. Every step the alien elite took was calculated to push them deeper into the sniper's plan. The trap was set, and the aliens walked right into it. They moved through the landscape cautiously, scanning for any sign of the sniper, but all they found were decoys. The sniper remained hidden, watching as the alien forces advanced exactly where they were meant to. From the sniper's vantage point, the alien soldiers looked formidable, cloaked, heavily armored, and equipped with advanced technology that could neutralize most human weapons. But the sniper was waiting, patient as always, for the perfect moment to strike. One by one, the aliens fell. The sniper's shots were precise, each one eliminating a high-value target with deadly accuracy. Even the aliens' advanced shields couldn't protect them from the well-placed shots that exploited weaknesses in their armor. The elite soldiers, despite all their training and technology, were helpless against the sniper's strategy. They had been led into a trap, and now they were being picked off with brutal efficiency. Every shot was calculated, every kill methodical. The tension built as the alien forces dwindled. Their elite units were being wiped out, and still, they hadn't been able to locate the sniper. Panic began to set in once again. But there was one more figure on the battlefield, the last alien general, who had personally come down to oversee the operation. His armor was more advanced than any of the other soldiers, his weapons more powerful, and his determination unshakable. He believed that if he could take down the sniper himself, it would turn the tide of the battle. The sniper knew this was the final moment. The alien general was the last target, the symbol of the invasion's leadership and its arrogance. The general moved confidently through the battlefield, scanning for the sniper, believing that his advanced armor would protect him from any human weapon. But the sniper had already calculated the shot. With steady hands and a calm breath, the sniper lined up the crosshairs, adjusting for the smallest details: the wind, the distance, the slight movement of the general as he searched for his elusive enemy. The shot was fired, and the result was instant. The alien general, just like so many before him, fell with a single, perfect hit. His death was the final blow to the alien forces. Without their leadership, without their elite units, there was nothing left to hold the invasion together. The alien troops that remained quickly retreated, no longer interested in fighting a war they now knew they couldn't win. The invasion had failed. As the alien forces pulled back, the sniper took a moment to reflect. The battle had been grueling, the odds overwhelming. But in the end, it wasn't just skill that had won the day, it was human adaptability, resourcefulness, and the ability to learn and grow in the face of insurmountable odds. The sniper knew that they weren't alone. Other snipers, other soldiers, had contributed to the victory. Together, they had shown that even the most advanced technology and the most powerful armies could be defeated with the right combination of determination and ingenuity. The war wasn't over, not yet. The aliens had retreated, but there was no telling when they might return. But Earth had sent a message: no matter how powerful the invaders, no matter how advanced their weapons, humanity wouldn't be conquered easily. There was hope now, cautious but real. The sniper knew there would be more battles ahead, but for the first time, it felt like Earth had a fighting chance. Victory had been earned through patience, precision, and a refusal to give up in the face of impossible odds. And that, more than anything, was the true strength of humanity.